what do you see as the role of city government? And what we're really looking for is definition of where you think it begins and where you think it ends in terms of the power it has with respect to citizens.
Well, I'm more oriented toward capitalism, and this goes back to the concept that transportation. I'm more on the basis of capitalism, and if we have a transportation system that brings people to the city, then we don't need to be doing TADs, that the developers will want to develop the land themselves. We might be able to assist them with some TAD action, but it was almost like we were trying to force the TADs down everybody's throat in a sense. It was shoved in, and for good, maybe for good reasons for a lot of people. But people should be coming to the city and wanting to live here, and part of that issue is transportation. It's a major problem in this city, and we need to be looking at the transportation issues of how to improve on it. And I just don't want us to get wrapped up of trying to build homes for people when we should be using capitalism and builders to be doing that effort. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's switch to transportation. Chris?
I don't need to answer the same question, or what?
Oh, I am sorry. Go ahead.
So, all right, sorry about that. I guess that I'm going to go back to kind of the preamble of the Constitution and say that I guess the purpose of government is to promote the general welfare. In this situation here in Marietta, they're supposed to provide policies, create ordinances that essentially do several things. Some of those may be determining what types of taxes that we levy. And is something wrong again? Okay, they're making faces up there. I'm sorry. I just keep feeling like every time I talk. But basically, I'm sorry. But I guess the essence is that create legislation that people want and that actually provides for, like I said, the general welfare. You're asking, like, how much power does the government have, or where does it begin and end? And I'll tell you this, I think it begins and ends at the ballot box. You get a chance every 4 years to turn over the government if you so wish. If it's not serving the purposes, then by golly, it's your turn to go ahead and go to that ballot box and make sure that we change it. If we're not doing stuff that you like, when I say we, I mean the city government. If the city government's not doing something you like, it's your job as citizens with your own personal vote to go out and make sure that we make those changes as necessary. So hopefully I didn't ramble too much there, and I'll pass on to Steve here.
Okay. And Steve?
I think what the purpose of government is to provide for the basic needs of the people. I think, and it has to be administered in a fair and balanced manner, no matter, to all 7 wards. I mean, we're talking about Marietta in specifically to all 7 wards, to whether they're renters or home buyers, or or even looking at the people that are homeless. I think we have to provide for all folks in a fair manner, and I think that's how you define government. More specifically, I think what a priority is always security and safety, that our neighborhoods, our schools, our places of employment, our homes are protected. I think we need to always address from gangs to drugs. I think we need to empower police to be proactive and also reactive. I think transportation is another issue. I mean, we spend a lot of times, we'll talk about Whitlock, or we'll talk about a lot of other, but I'm talking about the transportation from point A to point B within the city. The people from Paulding County do come through Marietta and go south. But what I'd like to address is I think the purpose of the city is to provide that we can go from Charlton Forge, where I live, to Kennestone Hospital, or from Dunleaf to get to Marietta High School, and we ought to do it with respect as we drive through another person's neighborhood. And as we'll talk later, I'd like to expand on that. And I guess the other thing, we ought to have ordinances. I think the city government has a need and a duty to set standards for our city. Thank you.
Okay.